Hi, welcome to the MyFestas.com conversation show, an encouraging, entertaining, and educational podcast for those who live, work, and play in the Festus, Missouri, and Jefferson County area, and for those who value communication, connection, and community wherever you live. Hi, I'm Sara, your host, a Wisconsin girl who is learning all about living in Missouri. Join me as I share fun conversations with local people and share my own reflections on navigating so many transitions. Thank you for making listening an itty-bitty habit to create a big impact in your life. Enjoy. First of all, welcome to MyFestas.com conversations. We have Luke in with the podcast studio with us. We are talking about Braunschweiger. Is that
we were talking about
charcuterie boards and how to properly pronounce that because I have a hard time with that. And what Luke would put on it. So Braunschweiger,
I like a fancy really Braunschweiger. I like a
by the way.
I like fried bologna. I like all the worst of meats.
Isn't it something like that? Like a.
It's like a hot dog grounded up in paste form.
Okay, and then you spread it on
crackers? It's an honest hot dog, is what it is.
Okay, it's like a fancy. But is that what you do? You spread it on something?
Yeah.
But it's got liver in it too.
Right, that's what I thought. It's like a liver.
Good, man.
Liver, and it's salty.
Good. Oh, yeah.
Salty. Okay, so you have like a gob of that?
Liver's always salty.
Ugh.
It adds a little bit of...
I can't imagine what your liver was.
Oh, man. Yeah,
because Luke is joining us from the Taytro's establishment.
And Petit Paree.
And Petit Paree. And the Contrarian, which we're going to talk about all of these fine establishments soon. But we got to get back to this.
Just a hair of sleep.
All right, that's okay. Which you've got a little caffeine going
out there.
So, what else would you put on your charcuterie board?
Well, you gotta have pickles. Spicy pickles.
Spicy pickles.
Probably that, and I don't know. You gotta have good cheese on there.
All right, what's your definition of good cheese? What kind of cheese do you like, or what would be the cheese on there?
You put me on the spot with that one. I would go. I don't. Oh, that's a tough one. I don't know. Monterey Jack and I like pepper jack and just anything, any kind of spice cheeses.
Okay. And if we're going to talk a little bit about spice, let's talk about the fact that Taytro's can bring the spice if people want it. It is culturally a restaurant that features Cajun style food. However,
yes.
there's different foods and entrees from all different kind of ethnicities. But I would love to know, what is your favorite dish that you love to eat there?
I don't know how many times I've been asked that. And I always got to say this. It just depends on the day.
You gotta give us more than that, Luke. Come on now.
Well, I like catfish po' boy.
Oh yes.
It's basic. It's, real to the spot.
Uh-huh.
And then the shrimp alai is really good, too. That's one of our own creations.
So how long has Taytro's been around?
Oh, shoot. Taytro's been around since 2010.
Okay.
Yeah. We were in the little place right over there. You know where the big building is? That used to be Orion's, and
yes.
It turned into a hibachi. And before that, we're in that little... strip mall in front, the Hesley's zone.
I was in there a few times.
Yeah, I was working. I worked for Maytag for a while for the Hesleys, who are great people, and they had a sandwich shop in there. And I told him, I was like, let me rent that place. Well, let me get my dad's money and let me turn that into something with his recipes too. My dad's a genius in the kitchen. I was going to say, because
it seemed like it's been a family affair starting that restaurant, because you guys have had amazing, delicious recipes in your family that you're like, we need to have the world eat this kind of food.
Yeah. Honestly, I always wanted to start a restaurant and just kind of promote the arts
Okay.
in general. And the culinary arts are definitely one of the biggest in my eyes. I mean, that's something everyone enjoys.
Absolutely.
Is culinary art. But it was also about trying to bring a little culture to the area with the local artists. There's so many talented kids out there and grown-ups out there and everybody else, just to give them a place to come out and play and experience some good food and everything else.
And good food. And when you talk about the arts, there's typically a schedule of good music that's happening at
Absolutely.
Taytro's as well. Do you want to talk about how often there is live music?
Oh, every Friday and Saturday and Thursday and Sunday. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Live
Yeah.
artists. You guys
Yeah.
have a stage.
Yep. Not always on Thursdays, but now usually we're getting them back in there.
Yeah.
It just depends on how many people are coming in.
And you have a wide variety of different music that, whether it's someone that's just kind of acoustic, love me some Bob Stiegel, and they're
Yeah,
just...
Bob's a good dude.
Bob's a good dude. Whether they're just doing their own, set, or I've been in where you have like bands with like, brass instruments
Yeah, a little bit of everything.
piano and, different things. You guys have a stage set up for that.
Yeah, we keep it kind of minimal in there for the most part, just because it gets a little noisy. But there's a lot of really great drum players, like Ron Sykes is one of the best I've ever seen with Funky Butt, and he comes in. But for the most part, it's usually like a solo artist or
Yes.
two guys or girls up there playing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wish I had a list to name everybody.
So
There's so much talent that's in and out.
So people can experience culinary art. They can experience the audio, music art at Taytro's. You have a ton of different art, on the walls and things like that. So you are creating an experience for them to experience, culture of, would you say, more of like kind of a Louisiana, Cajun,
absolutely.
Mardi Gras style vibe? Or, do you try to keep it within a theme, or it's like whatever speaks to you or whatever you think,
It's
is
definitely a
artistic?
New Orleans vibe. I was raised down in New Orleans.
Okay.
So, and that's where I've had the best food. Actually, something that people might not know
Ooh, I love
is
this.
that Cajun is the only real American cuisine. If you think about it, if you think about an American cuisine,
Okay.
it ain't hamburgers, it ain't pizza.
Okay.
Cajun was originated from the French settlers that came over, and just kind of they took that, because everybody knows like the fanciest restaurants are French restaurants. That's where they do the most, and that's because they were the first ones. France was really the first place to really take food to that other level.
Okay.
That that artsy level.
Sure.
That's and so what happened is all the poor immigrants that were coming over here before the Louisiana Purchase and all of that, they came over here and they were the cooks out there in France.
Sure.
So they were the ones cooking for all the rich hoity-toties out there, out there in France. And so they brought all that training and all that experience over here to, they usually settled in Louisiana, around those area. And so they had all that knowledge, but they didn't have all of the finer things like the butters and all that stuff. So they learned how to really take using roux and that kind of stuff to get flavor out of roux. Using time and temperature. So they would slow cook a roux, and they realize that you get different flavors out of that, and that's just flour and oil, just like your grandma might do biscuits and gravy.
Sure.
So so they created an entire cuisine just from the stuff that they had out there.
Sure.
Like if,
But which was a unique thing, that now has created its own kind of identity
absolutely.
of Cajun cuisine.
Have you ever been to New Orleans?
Long time ago, but not enough to really experience the culinary scene there.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah?
It's amazing. But I will put our barbecue shrimp up against every barbecue shrimp down there.
So good.
Oh, yeah.
So good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm talking to you, New Orleans.
Ooh, I feel like we have a challenge coming on here. So when we talk about, that type of food, let's just segue a little bit to the type of food that is at Petit Paree, because your family now owns that location,
we took
but
over.
That was not something that you guys originally started. Can you speak a little bit about that?
Yeah, Carla, the previous owner.
Okay.
That was a family-owned place too. It's actually the oldest restaurant out there besides Stoplight, which is amazing. Stoplight's been there forever.
Yeah.
And they just keep doing great things.
And so
we're doing the same thing. That's great.
Yeah. What year did Petit Paree?
1960.
Okay.
Is when
that family started
they opened it. Yeah.
And it was called that at the time.
It's always been called.
And
Petit
they
Paree.
had more of the French style cuisine.
Yeah. For the most part, I think it's always kind of been a steakhouse.
Okay.
So we
fancier on our historic and charming Festus Main Street.
And that's one thing we made sure of when we took over Petit is not to get rid of, not to erase that history. So we we use a lot of their old recipes and everything they've done there. That grill down there is amazing. It's one of the best grills I've ever cooked a steak on.
So you have the same menu that people have loved, about that kind of food there.
I wouldn't say it's the same. The menu's changed. I think they tried to go Italian at one point. But the staple down is always been steak.
Okay.
So,
and
that's definitely
more of
something that we focus
higher
on.
end, kind of fancier place to go to.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a different, I think more of a romantic style vibe, or a more kind of a regal feel when you go in there.
Yeah.
You've got the cloth tablecloths, you've got, a little bit more
the carpet and everything
yes.
else. But I've always been against carpet in a restaurant.
Sure.
But not there.
Okay.
Because it works there, and it really when you go there to dine, you feel like you're even though there's other people there, you still feel like you're the only ones there.
Yes.
And that's kind of the atmosphere that is so neat about it. And then all the old artwork on the walls and everything else. Carla was really wanted to keep it there because it's really the building that owns that art.
Yeah. No,
we might have purchased it from her, but that building just has so much character. The way that it's been set up and the way that it's evolved through the years with everything that, is coming in and out of there. I mean, they got, old gangster stories and
That's
stuff.
So cool.
That's the stuff. Yeah. We playing cards up in the upstairs little loft up there. It's really neat. There's actually a mirror door.
Oh, really?
Like when you walk in, you wouldn't notice that it's a big mirror,
sure.
but it's actually a door, and that they bring people upstairs to play, go up there and gamble and whatever else.
So another building that is on our charming and historic Main Street that has seemed to take on a lot of different identities and energies throughout the years is the new Contrarian.
Absolutely.
Building, which I would love for you to speak a little bit about, because this is a newer establishment for our Festus area community and for so many people who are looking to make Festus a destination spot, whether they're traveling in for the weekend or for, summer or something like that. And you are doing so many intentional things to bring artists and bring culture to our community. And now you have a venue and a
this is
space
kinda-
called the Contrarian,
Kind
and
of the peak of the artsy part.
let's hear about it.
So we want to give people a place to come play and feel comfortable. Artists to feel comfortable being on stage, and
So what is the Contrarian?
shine. The Contrarian. Well, it was the Le Jade for most people know it as the Le Jade. It became a church for a little while, but before it was the Le Jade, it was called the Miller Theater.
Okay.
And
So it's a building that has typically been known around here as an entertainment venue.
yeah,
Okay.
a theater.
A theater.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it was built before they were running electronic sound.
Sure.
So it's built for acoustics,
Okay.
and it's amazing, and it holds true to that. And
What year was that built?
they didn't even have air conditioning. I believe it was around 1920.
Oh,
somewhere in
wow.
the 20s.
Fascinating.
Yeah, that's how old it is.
Okay.
And we found the well in the basement that they used to cool the place with.
No
They didn't have air
way.
conditioning. So they would cool it from the well down below, like they would run the air out of the well with
Like
fans.
the cool air.
Yeah, and just cool the place down through that. Yeah, that's how old it is.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
And
the acoustics are set up it's amazing.
So like summer
that
of
can sound.
2024, you took it over, and you had thought about the name Contrarian for a while. Is that right? When we've talked before about what that word means and how does that word translate to kind of the energy
Yeah.
and what it is that you are bringing in terms of the cultural, artistic, talent that comes to.
The reason we picked that word is, in my eyes, I think it's always important that everybody looks to the contrary on everything, even if they don't agree with it. It's I think it's important for growth. It's to be contrarian, or to look to the contrary. It has nothing to do with right or wrong. It has more to do with balance. Whether you think it's right or it's wrong, or whatever it may be, it's important for us all to look to that. It's like, especially with like all this politics going on and all this other stuff. People tend to get on, that their side. They want to pick a team or they want to be on a side, and it's like we're all on the same side. I think it's real important to open up and try to understand where other people are coming from, even if it's something you don't agree with. And that's kind of the gist behind it. It's also about being different and being okay with that, and just being unique in a way, going against the tides.
Or at least curious without judgment.
Absolutely.
Kind of thing.
Absolutely. I think it's a better way for us all to kind of, evolve.
Yeah.
Because it's important to be able to change your mind depending on facts that you're given, or not even necessarily facts, just it can have to do with feelings or emotions, or just trying to be empathetic towards other people. I think that's more important for the individual than it is for that other person in most situations.
And do you find when someone is able to express their creative, whatever, their gifts through music, through comedy, through, maybe theater or performance, they're able to invite
Absolutely.
others
It's like
to open
breathing.
their mind to a different, like you said, maybe a different way of thinking, or another,
I think the most important art is selfish art.
Ooh, say more about that.
Yeah, I think because what's great about art, it's a way to express how you feel without trying to use words. And of course, there's lyrics and songs and everything else. But most people don't even know what the artist meant by those lyrics. They take their own interpretation of that. And that's what's so beautiful about music and all of the arts in general, is because it really, the artist should be doing it for them.
Yes.
They should be doing it because it's a release. It's like breathing. I mean, I know any artist out there, if you're not creating, you can get depressed.
Right.
And
it's your creative expression. It's the way you live your life. It's your...
let go of all of these things that might be, burdens, that might be, that weight on your shoulder. And we really wanted to have a place to let these kids do that, because there's not many places out there for these kids to just get out and yell in front of a bunch of people, or sing like a siren.
And so there's a wide variety of different art and artists. You say kids, but I mean, can you tell us just a little bit about the vast, spread of different artists that you have had on stage thus far and that you will be having on stage for 2025?
Oh, we want to put anybody up there that's serious about it.
Okay.
I know we're going to be doing open mics.
Okay.
Quite a bit, and I am very into stand-up comedy.
Awesome.
I love comedy. I think, like I tell everybody, I'm like, stand-up comedy is the new punk rock to me.
Okay.
It's just pushing the lines.
Sure.
And I think it's important to see something that you might be offended by.
Sure.
To
have a little challenge, have a little something. Yeah.
Of course, there's lines there.
Sure.
You don't want to take your kids to, like, they're probably already watching all of it on their phones or whatever else. But either way, it's just that goes back to that idea of contrarian, is to push your limits.
Sure.
Just a little, just to understand, what else is out there.
Absolutely.
And you can be offended. It's okay.
Sure.
But in that, you might find something. You might learn something from even that.
Yeah.
So I think I really want to push stand-up. I've been working with a lot of local comedians.
Amazing.
And they're some of my favorite people to hang out with, because they're absolutely insane. Probably like myself.
So people can look forward to being entertained and to have some sort of, an artistic affair while they're going to the Contrarian. And this is, there's a stage set
More
up.
than anything, it's about that good time. It's about putting a smile on people's faces.
I love that.
It's about getting away from the day-to-day and going to enjoy something. And
And you have cozy, comfy seats there too.
Yes,
They're really cushiony, cozy, maroon colored seats. They have cup holders because you also have a bar in there. Yeah. So if people want to, have a drink, that they can do that as well. So it's really a place that people can gather, as you said, to smile, and to have a good time and to, be curious about what kind of art they might experience.
Yeah.
And would you say most of your shows typically need tickets in advance? Or is it...
that's the best. If you want to get them cheaper, it's always better to get them in advance.
Okay. And online, we can link your website to that.
People can see what we have coming up. Right now, we got so much work to do there. So right now, we're really just getting, our feet wet.
Sure.
And pushing local.
Yeah.
Local.
Absolutely.
Eventually, we'd like to bring in some national acts.
Sure. That's so exciting.
It's just the costs, balancing all of that is a lot.
Sure. But I would imagine as people are getting, more acclimated to our Festus community area, and they're seeing, they can go to different places like for their, food and get their good artistic cuisine, and then they can...
It's amazing what's going on with Main Street.
And then they
Denny Foster with Main and Mill, him and his dad, they're doing a great job out there.
We love you, Denny.
Peddling pie.
Yes.
Yeah,
We love you, the Creeds.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's just so much going on.
We
out
do
there.
have an amazing community.
So much Pogolinos, which has been there forever. Some of the best pizza. Right across the street from Petal and Pie. So there's a boxing match going on out there.
We have an
those
amazing.
two are just amazing. They do pizza right, both of them. And then the Brick. There's so many just great places popping up out there on Main Street.
Yes, there are so many awesome people and places. You're an amazing person, and I appreciate you taking the time out to really show us the type of momentum that you're creating in the community to really not only foster the arts, but to encourage other people to maybe have a shift in their mindset again about different.
Yeah, get off the couch.
Right, get off the couch, but then, like you said, like
experience people.
Maybe think a little different way or experience something in with a new curious mindset.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. And
not that the couch is bad. The couch is nice sometimes.
Right.
But it's important to get out and talk and hang out with people face to face.
Yeah.
I think that's important for all of us.
And would you say hanging out with people and arts and culture is what makes up a community, or how would you define community?
Describing culture? I think culture is a communal effort. It comes from the entirety of what, even, with what I do, it's I might branch out and say, hey, this is what I want to do. I want to do this. But there's still that influence. Mm-hmm. Whatever I do is like no, I'm kidding. But whatever I do, it's always going to have that push and pull from the community, whether they like it or they dislike it. Mm-hmm. So it really, even if I'm trying to be completely different, there's still some tie into the people that are around. Mm-hmm. And so I think culture is built by everybody in that community, mm-hmm. even the ones that don't think it is. Mm-hmm. I think there's something that kind of ties us all together. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of where it builds from. We can do a bunch of different doing all those different things are, I think, what builds that. Just people being creative in general. Mm-hmm. I think that is exactly what fosters it. But just everybody getting together and having the balls to mm-hmm. get out there and get in front of people and let them know what their ideas are. Get on that stage or whatever else it might be. And I think one of the things there's already a scene in Festus. There's so many great musicians that have come out of here, mm-hmm. like Talk with the Bassler brothers. Mm-hmm. They're amazing that came out of here. And my boy Josh Friedrich with Pono AM. But there's just so many bands to name that are playing up in St. Louis,
sure,
but are from Festus.
Got their roots here.
Just amazing bands mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. coming out. The Prunos.
I'm gonna have to look all these bands up. I'm not familiar with all of them, so that's good. Or hopefully you can have them on the Contrarian stage
Absolutely.
For us to see them live.
We plan on. We already have some dates set up for a lot of them.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you for being an artist yourself and being a creative, courageous visionary to encourage and foster the culture within our community.
Well, thank you for actually, putting a spotlight on these things for everybody. It's another one, Spotlight Theater Company is amazing.
I agree.
What they're doing.
Courtney Wisely mm-hmm. and Spotlight Community Theater.
There's so many, it's hard to even think of them. There's just so many people out there that are really getting out there and doing something. So I love to be a part of with the family and Patrick Thompson, really, trying to give them a venue, basically.
Right. And all these people connected,
themselves.
is what makes us all. I always say, community is something we create, and thank you to you and to all these other people who are coming together to have it be a feeling and an energy within where we live that makes us want to live here.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And they're coming too.
Right?
Yeah, you see those apartments that just went up all over
right by Taytro's. Yes. People want to be here. They want to live here.
Yeah.
So, thank you for making it a place that people want to live. And, we may have to have a challenge out there to the people in New Orleans to
barbecue shrimp.
Have a
It's on New
barbecue
Orleans.
shrimp cook-off challenge. Let's do it. Well, thank you, Luke, for coming in.
Thank you.
And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I hope that you can experience all there is to love about the culture at the Contrarian, as well as the amazing art and music and food at Taytro's and at Petit Paree.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to listen to this myfestus.com conversation. I hope that you have found some itty-bitty inspiring takeaways to make a big impact in your life. To create an even bigger impact in your life, check out my website, myfestus.com, to explore all the positive people and places you can experience around here, as well as learn about encouraging ways to navigate your own life transitions, no matter where you live. I also send out fun, encouraging emails so you can learn about all the new things and score a must-have deal of the week to save you some money as you support our local businesses. Just click on the subscribe button on the myfestus.com website to sign up. Thank you for making listening an itty-bitty habit to create a big impact in your life.